Oilers and Ducks tonight from Honda Center in time for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. With those, we go to the Anaheim bench. Standing by with assistant coach Bob Woods is our Ken French.
Johnny, thank you. Facing an Edmonton team dealing with a lot of injuries, and they played last night in San Jose. How do you take advantage of that, especially in the first 20 minutes tonight?
Well, I'd like to see us go out and play the first period like we played the third period last game there. And I think, again, they're a good team, a lot of speed. We got to limit our turnovers because they're going to come after us. So, I think the more we can get it deep and put it behind us, we'll be good.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Johnny, back to you.
Thank you, Kent. Frederick LeCure and Brad Watson are the referees for tonight's game. Tony Saracolo and John Grant are the linesmen. The Ducks in their home blacks and the Oilers in the road whites were underway as Marincin plays it off the back of his own goal but can't clear past Andrew Cogliano, the one-time Oiler. Taylor Hall flips it towards the Anaheim goal, scooped up by Frederik Andersen. Baseball season is underway. Looked like a good shortstop on that play.
Yeah, fielded it cleanly, and he wants to do that, of course, whenever Hall, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle are out there tonight for the Oilers. Hang on to every puck when that trio's on the ice for Edmonton, and give Bruce Boudreau the opportunity to get the matchup defensively that he wants. That's the whole key to controlling this Edmonton team. You shut down them, you win the game.
So it's the Getzlaf line that comes out against the Gagne line for Edmonton. That line that Brian mentioned with Eberle, Nugent Hopkins, and Hall did all the heavy lifting last night in San Jose. They accounted for all 4 goals and 10 points and were a +11 or a +7 as a line. The rest of the team had 2 assists and was -11 in a 5-4 loss to the San Jose Sharks. So obviously the defensive key for Anaheim as we get an icing call here against Edmonton, at least early on in this one, Brian, is to focus on that big line for Dallas Eakins' club.
Sure is. And for Stefan Robidas, we saw Robidas used a lot whenever Taylor Hall was on the ice, at least in the game in Edmonton last week. But here a little bit slightly different matchup. Remember, Ben Lovejoy back in the lineup tonight. Bruce Boudreau still getting a sense of his defense pairings and who he wants to use in every situation. When Cam Fowler comes back, he's going to have some real tough decisions to make with this personnel.
Boy, Robidas being pressured by Anton Lander there. Now goes behind the net and bumps with him as the puck goes through them both. Beloff pinches from the right point. The Russian defenseman puts it behind the Anaheim goal, but the Ducks turn back. Getzlaf with a nice play to knock it out of midair, and eventually at center ice it comes to Perry. Cross ice feed looking for Bolesky is broken up as Edmonton finishes changes, and now they regroup back in their own zone.
When Anaheim had a slow start last game against the Winnipeg Jets, one of the problems, John, was that there wasn't a lot of close support with the puck carrier in the neutral zone. Ducks were attempting long outlet passes, not what Bruce Boudreau wants. He wants the forward to support the puck carrier, especially in the neutral zone.
Second meeting in 6 days between these two clubs, who will meet again on Sunday, 4 days from now, up in Edmonton again. So a couple division foes that didn't see a whole lot of one another the first 66 games of the year. Now they get a full dose of one another over a span of just 10 days.
Yeah, no secrets, that's for sure. They know all the strengths, all the weaknesses too.
Mark Frazier, one-time property of the Anaheim franchise, clears out of the Edmonton zone, and now Ricard Raquel pressures him as he drifts one over top of the Edmonton goal off the stick of Frazier. And of course, speaking of one-time Anaheim properties, it's Victor Fost in goal at the far end of the ice for the Oilers tonight as he comes back in the lineup after having missed 4 games with a neck ailment, and for the first time in his career faces his former team at the NHL level. As icing is the call here. Fost has appeared in only 4 games since the Ducks dealt him to Edmonton at the trade deadline, and he's 2-1-1 in those games, but health has been an issue all year no matter where Victor's been this season.
Yeah, really a tough luck year for Victor Fost, expected to challenge Jonas Hiller for the #1 job here at the beginning of the season, but injuries kept him out of the lineup, and then this youngster by the name of Frederik Andersen stepped into the crease and just refused to lose. Essentially, it made Fost expendable.
Andersen coming into tonight with 18 wins, the most among rookie netminders in the league. In fact, he's now moved up overall in the league standings to 7th in save percentage and 9th in goals against average. So not just good amongst rookies, Andersen is amongst the best in the league. Period. Neither team with a shot on goal through the first 3 minutes as the Oilers start out of their own zone. And again, it's Taylor Hall into the middle for Eberle, and the pass behind the back intended for Hall was behind him. Hall able to get to it, rims it around, and now down low, Nugent Hopkins gets on it. Ryan Nugent Hopkins feeds it back to the line. Schultz got it across. Klefbom looking for a tip, but it went behind Nugent Hopkins. And the faithful at Honda Center boo every time Justin Schultz touches the puck still. Over a couple of years removed, as Anderson gobbles up a floater. And it's time for Who Got It Done, brought to you by YP.com, the new way to do, and one of the new duos up front for Bruce Boudreau, Perreault and Maroon, getting it done on a regular basis.
They sure are. Matthew Perreault, this is a career high 9-game point scoring streak for him, and Pat Maroon does all the dirty work. Gets down low, gets in front of the goaltender, does the screens, get along the wall, and a lot of puck recoveries as well. And earlier, the head coach was asked about whether that tandem was going to officially become a tandem. You know, with Boudreau changing the lines as much as he does, and he says it sure looks that way to him.
Asked him the other day why Matthew Perreault has been so good since coming back from the Olympic break, and he said, you know, he now knows he's a guy who's counted on by his teammates. He said whether it was earlier in his career in Washington or just earlier on this season here in Anaheim, he said he's a player who would play a couple of good games and then get taken out of the lineup. A player who would either get scratched or maybe even back in his days in Washington sent down. He knows that's not the case anymore. He's a guy that has to bring it every night, and boy has he been bringing it. Sam Gagner brushes it behind the Anaheim goal. Lander sends it to the point, but the Oil were in the midst of a defensive change, so as Beloff handles it, he has to wait for the mates to regress out of the zone.
A very calculated game thus far from both teams, and not a lot of forechecking going on here by either side.
Solani brushes it up the wall, but not out. Beloff then crushed by Bolesky, and the puck comes out center ice. Beloff was trying to take a license plate number, but when he turned around, he ran into Solani, and he thought for a moment it was Solani who delivered the hit on him. Now Solani does have the puck, but his pass back to the point well off the mark, and Hall gets to it for the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins on left wing, goes wide, put it right through the goal crease, and Anderson able to get to it as Eberle didn't get much on the bid.
A little difficulty there for Anderson, who just calmly slides across, takes away the short side. Here was that bump on Beloff by Matt Bolesky, almost deposits the first-year NHLer into the Anaheim bench. Beloff was a guy that played 5 years with Omsk Avangard in the Continental Hockey League. He's on a 1-year contract. I think the Oilers were expecting more from him.
Play into the Edmonton zone, and it's Big Pat Maroon trying to get it away from Oscar Klefbom, and eventually does get it back to Spiza. On a half wall, Palmieri, his shot blocked in front by Schultz. Maroon digs it off the side of the goal. Perreault gives it to him as they come from below the goal line. Cycle goes back down low, and now to the net goes Palmieri. The puck is covered by Victor Fost. This season, when the Ducks score 5 goals or more, Hooters will give you 5 free wings. You can print the coupon from home and score your free wings within 24 hours at any Hooters destination in Southern California.
Not a lot of scoring chances thus far in this game. Kind of a feeling out type process. Nick Bonino back up on the left wing along with Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry. And the head coach was saying we might see a little bit more of that down the stretch run.
Perry in the corner, now behind the net, gets it from Bonino and goes behind the back and puts it towards the goal, and Fost taking no chances as he covers up as well. That officially Anaheim's first shot on goal, 5.5 minutes in.
Well, the Ducks have won 6 of 7 draws in this game, and that's a good sign that coaches look for early on to make sure that everybody is engaged. They seem engaged. Much different start tonight than it was the other night against the Winnipeg Jets, where they had a lot of trouble getting the legs moving early.
Oshima blisters it just wide. Spilled in front is Perry, who was trying to set the screen. The Oilers played last night in San Jose, had the Sharks on the ropes in the third period before surrendering a 4-3 lead in what was ultimately a 5-4 loss. But Bruce Boudreau told us this morning he warned his team not to take the Oilers lightly as we get an icing call here.
Wow.
Because he said, you know, they're going to be playing for Victor Fost tonight. He said the Oilers are going to be playing for a goaltender who's facing his old team for the first time, and there's no reason to overlook this club.
That point shot from Boschman had a lot of zip on it. It was close. Good traffic in front of Victor Fost. You know, the Ducks obviously know a lot about Fost. He's not the biggest guy in the world. It's a more difficult game for him to play when there's lots of traffic in front of the net. Smaller goaltenders have a more difficult time seeing around that traffic.
Oilers win the draw and now cycle in the Anaheim zone. David Perron, leading goal scorer with 26 on the season, trying to force it deeper into the zone, and he does. Lander gets to it, and he is rubbed out along the boards there by Robidas. Kicked along behind the goal and kept alive by Gagne. In his skates, he's able to find it and twirls it off the boards. Perron is there to support. Well, a lot of hooking going on this shift, and Perron fights through it all to get it down low. Boschman taps it along. Bomb pinches to keep it in all the way to the goal line now, the Oiler defenseman. Perron comes in and joins the play. And now muscles for it in the corner with Francois Boschman behind the point. Good job by the Oilers. They're not getting to the front of the net or off the perimeter, but they're keeping the play alive and getting to the loose pucks and winning the battles. Now here's Klefbom off the wall, forcing Anderson to make the save. And a tired Nick Bonino finally able to get it ahead. Getzlaf finds Perry, and he says we need a line change.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Edmonton wants tonight against the Getzlaf line. Make them play on their own end, and that was a tiring shift for, I think, for both sides, quite honestly. But
in 3 games, you got to give the Oilers credit. Despite the results, they've done a nice job on Getzlaf and Perry. Combined, the 2 leading scorers for Anaheim have just 2 assists in 3 games against Edmonton this season. Will Acton gets it across the line, and Larson whips it wide. A defenseman who's been pressed into duty up front, Philip Larson, missed the mark there. He played up front last night in San Jose as well. Now it's Silverberg's turn to fire it wide, and it'll come all the way out center ice. The Oilers are running out of healthy bodies. They don't have Andrew Ference in the lineup tonight, who had the game winner just 6 days ago. They've also lost Ryan Jones since the Ducks last saw them less than a week ago. They had to reach down into their minor league system today to recall Steve Pinizzato. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' bid is held by Anderson, and we will hold off for a couple of minutes until we return. Brian, we were just talking about how the bodies have been falling in Edmonton. Some players playing out of position, some call-ups, and Dallas Eakins treats it like most coaches do.
yeah, this is vintage coach speak. You'll hear this a lot. Time for the players who have said, I can play more for you, I need a chance. Well, here it is. Let's see what you can do with it. A lot of call-ups from their minor league club, Oklahoma City. They're actually in the heat of a playoff race in the American League, and there's a couple of names down there that probably would otherwise have been here if not for the fact that they really would like their minor league club to make it into the postseason and help in the development of some of those young guys.
A bit of a scheduling irony, I think, when you consider an Olympic break season. The American League regular season ends a week after the NHL season. When you consider the time the NHL took away for the Olympics, it's a little strange that that would be the case. But as a result, organizations that have minor league teams fighting to get into the postseason and are on their way to the playoffs might also have some decisions to make. May have to pull some players out of the American League regardless. Nugent-Hopkins, he's been dangerous all night with another chance there, but his backhander hoisted over top of the goal. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Taylor Hall, and Jordan Eberle were the lion's share of the offense last night in San Jose for the Oilers, and so far tonight they've had the best chances as well. Anton Belov, 9-year veteran of the KHL, wraps it around into the Anaheim zone, and it does come all the way to Lander. Chops it in front, and it's hacked off the side of the Anaheim goal. It was Gagne who had the bid. He gets it back now for David Perron. Perron lays it off, and Lander's shot never got through. Raquel takes Gagne behind the net. Off the back of the net, Gagne comes up with it, fires it off the glove of Anderson. Bounced out and brought to center by Solani. Raquel joins him there. He went wide to the boards and had his bid blocked, and now the play whistled down.
You get the feeling that the Ducks are kind of in prevent defense mode in the defensive zone. And no one taking the initiative to really get to the puck and win the battle for the loose puck. They're just staying inside their checks and keeping them out to the outside. That was a bid by Gagne, no problem with the glove hand. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins this season, got 18 goals, minus 14, like so many of the Oilers seem to be in their lineup. But I just think that when you're playing against Edmonton, a couple of big hits in the defensive zone seem to get their attention. If you let them dance around on the perimeter, they do have the talent to beat you one-on-one.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins still a few days shy of his 21st birthday. Has 8 points in his last 7 games. Maroon gets it out of the Anaheim zone, and Perreault lobs it in, goes after it. Victor Foss will allow Klefbom to play it. Swedish native, first-round pick from 2012 for the Oil, gets it ahead, and it's Ryan Smith, the 19-year veteran, who sends it into the Anaheim zone. Puck comes around, just barely missed the referee. And now it's in the glove of Fost as it was lobbed over the crossbar. He looked like Torrey Hunter taking a home run away on that one. No score at Honda Center.
Anaheim Ducks hockey is brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the NHL and Anaheim Ducks. And by Toshiba, leading innovation.
No score halfway through the opening period at Honda Center. Bob Woods told our Kent French in the pregame conversation down on the bench that he hoped that they would get what they got in the third period Monday night. Anaheim had 24 shots on goal in the third period against Winnipeg 2 nights ago. They have 1 shot on goal 10.5 minutes in. So I think early on the answer is they have not quite got what they had in the third period on Monday.
No, not close. And to me, it's about the forecheck and the pressure. And the forecheck just isn't the 3 forwards, by the way. It's the D-men coming down the wall and keeping pucks alive and winning battles on these loose pucks, like that one right there.
Ryan Smith headmans it out of the zone. Steve Pinizzato in his debut as an Edmonton Oiler chases into the Anaheim zone. He was just recalled from Oklahoma City today for this game. Pinizzato got a dozen games last year with the Vancouver Canucks, his only previous NHL experience. A big hit delivered by Getzlaf. Marincin on the receiving end. And perhaps the captain trying to lead by example here.
Remember last game, Bruce Boudreau said that it was a big hit by Getzlaf on the captain of the Winnipeg Jets, Andrew Ladd, that really got his bench energized and said, well, you know, this game's not over yet. Maybe that'll get them going here.
Nugent-Hopkins busts into the Anaheim zone, and a good bit of defense by Lovejoy rendered his shot fairly harmless. He got a piece of it, and now he knocks him down along the near boards as well. Everly back to the line, and the shot by Frazier missed everything. Mark Frazier came over mid-season from the Toronto Maple Leafs. And now he goes back to get the puck as both teams change.
He's a D-man that the Ducks would look to challenge one-on-one. And those little chip plays around a guy like Frazier, who's a battler, a determined young man, but not blessed with great skating ability.
Fought Mike Brown last night. Now he pinched up here a little bit and may have gotten caught as it's the speed of Raquel. Created an opportunity, and it ricochets past everyone in black. Hammered all the way down by Robidas, but Solani nullifies the would-be icing as he beats Schultz to it. Temu chases to the corner. Possesses and then rims it back up the boards and went through Bolesky. Robidas activates to keep one in and sends it towards the net. Bolesky slaps it to the corner. Penalty coming up as Raquel wires it through the slot, and Boschman just missed as he pinched and one-timed it. Robidas pass across, comes outside the zone, and now Will Acton and Matt Bolesky have dropped the gloves. Acton also just recalled 2 days ago from Oklahoma City, and as they go to the ice while on their knees, Bolesky keeps going.
Acton, actually the son of Oiler assistant coach Keith Acton. There's going to be a penalty already being called against the Oilers, delayed penalty call. There's the battle with Acton and Bolesky. Give each other some pretty good working over. Bolesky gives him a chop and challenges him, and away they go.
We'll see how this all meets out. As Brian mentioned, the initial penalty was going to go against Acton. Will they end up washing? Acton was undrafted out of Lake Superior State before signing after his college days were over with the Edmonton Oilers. Started the season with the Oilers. He broke camp and played the first 23 games with the big club, and this is the first time he's been back since then.
He's going to get the additional 2 as a holding penalty against him, and then 2 5-minute majors that will wash out. So opportunity here for the Ducks on the power play. Power play's been pretty good as of late, John. Pretty much been scoring a power play goal per game. Coaches will always tell you that we can always get better.
Well, not for lack of chances against the Oilers. The Ducks in 3 games have had 14 chances on the power play and have yet to score against Edmonton. Come into tonight 22nd in the league on the penalty kill. The Ducks 5 of 17 in their last 6 games. And Lindholm holds it in at the line, slides it across for Getzlaf, who dusts it off and gives it back. Right wing shot, throws it into the middle off the stick of Perry, and that catches the high glass.
Yeah, looking for the shot pass.
Lindholm again quickly over to the captain and quickly right back through everyone in the slot. Perreault collects it on the near half wall. Pressured by Marincin. And it's rimmed back to the point. Lindholm has time and space. His wrister off an Edmonton stick flutters wide, recovered by Maroon. Now to Perreault. Puts it on top of the dasher, and Petrie stepped into Maroon and comes away with the puck in the corner and sends it all the way down. Acton's initial minor penalty still has over a minute remaining as Getzlaf gets it from Anderson. Drops it off for Solani, hits the brakes inside the line. Teemu back for the captain. Getzlaf finds the open man Lindholm. Right back to Getzlaf. Down low, Perry steps in front. Well, he had a little more time than I think he realized, and Fost gave no rebound.
Yeah, he decided to pass. It almost looked like he was looking for Solani. Solani's on the left side of your screen. Looks like he's trying to slide it across to Teemu Solani. And boy, a quick step there to bring it right down into the crease area would be the preferred play, I think, for the head coach. Well defended by the Oilers, by the way, who got sticks into those passing lanes. That was Fraser down low with a good battle in front of the net.
I think Palmieri actually got his stick on that. Palmieri, 3 points in 3 games against the Oilers this season, and now as he dumps it back in, Anaheim is offside. So 42 seconds left in the man advantage, and Anaheim will have to start from neutral ice.
Nick Bonino has been relegated to a spot on the second power play unit because of the play of Matthew Perreault and the success that Perreault has had on that top unit.
Bonino with a good puck recovery, and it's Beauchemin with a one-timer. There's a rebound for Palmieri, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Looked like Foss flashed that left pad out there and may have caught a piece of Palmieri's skate, throwing him off balance. Puck is hooked out center ice, and now with only 15 seconds left in the power play, the Ducks have to get onside. Bonino tries to pass it across, and that one's off the stick of Hendrickson out of play.
Nick Bonino, good job getting that puck back to the point, and then the one-time shot comes through. The rebound is there for Kyle Palmieri, and look what happens. It just explodes when it gets onto the stick blade. Puck probably spinning a little bit off of the leg pad of Victor Fost. He couldn't control the rebound. You knew he would have loved to have got that one up in the air.
Palmieri a +2 the last 2 games. And now the Anaheim power play comes to a close. 2 shots on goal for Anaheim with that man advantage, but they come up empty. And still no score. Silverberg on a loose puck, throws it in front, and Cogliano taken down by Petrie. Silverberg pursues to the near side, gets help from Saku Koivu. Koivu shovels it down low, and Silverberg gets to the loose puck. Back for Koivu, trying to keep it deep. Petrie beat Cogliano to it and sends it around and out. Lindholm back to get it. Campus picked up his 6th goal in the win against Winnipeg here on Monday. And now Lovejoy sends it in off the stick of Koivu. Ducks finishing defensive changes, so a little time for the Oilers, and Taylor Hall in on the wing, and a left pad save by Anderson, and the loose change cleared away by Brian Allen. Pounced out by Perreault. 2-on-1 with Maroon. Perreault takes the shot, and Fost makes the save. Best scoring chance of the game for Anaheim. Still scoreless at Honda Center.
Look at the head of Oscar Klefbom here, the young defenseman for the Oilers. He's kind of looking over at his bench. Then the puck comes up the glass. He loses it. Doesn't know where it is. Now it has bounced by him, and it's a 2-on-1 break for the Ducks. Perreault elects to take the shot. Victor Fost plays it perfectly and shuts down the short side on Perreault.
Perreault, the top face-off man this season for the Ducks at 54%, beaten by Boyd Gordon on that draw. Gordon, one of the top face-off men in the league year in, year out, and he's in the top 10 again this year.
Well, that was only his second win in 9 draws tonight, so he's been having a tough time up until that point.
Flushed from behind his own net. It's Pat Maroon to center for the Ducks. Gets the red line, and behind the net waiting for it is Fost. Sweeps it along. And Schultz hears it from the faithful at Honda Center as he moves it. Oilers have been outscored 26-8 in their last 6 games. But we're scoreless here. Palmieri with a high drive that Fost hangs on to. 3:25 remains in the opening period. Become a season ticket holder for the upcoming 14-15 Ducks season and receive the best of fan benefits, including priority access and special pricing for the Stanley Cup playoffs this spring. Visit AnaheimDucks.com/season tickets for more information. Getzlaf to oppose Gagne, and the Duck captain wins the draw in the right circle of the Edmonton zone. Robidas puts it behind the net. And Bonino lost his stick. Perry comes up with a puck, and it's a glove save by Fost. And suddenly the chances are getting better for the guys in black.
Yeah, he was trying to pick that top corner. Corey Perry hasn't had much luck, as you said, John, against the Oilers this season in the goal-scoring department, but he gets a little bit of a pick by Getzlaf, and he shoots it right into the left hand of Victor Fost. Perry was going up top. Fost just held the hand out. Corey Perry said, "You made that look way too easy."
Now it's Bonino who will take the draw in the left circle. And the Oilers control. Perry gets to it on the near hash mark, though, to the corner for Getzlaf. Trying to kick it away now from Marincin. And Bonino receives behind the net. Kept to the outside by Gagne. Perry picks it up, and the return feed broken up by Gagne. Getzlaf gets to it. Pulls it off the boards into the middle, looking for a redirect. Another penalty coming up to the Oilers as he just missed the blade of Corey Perry.
You see the strength of Ryan Getzlaf along the boards and how effectively he uses that big frame of his. See him block out Gagne. Now Gagne's on the wrong side. Stick goes into the midsection. He doesn't want Getzlaf to get a free pass into the middle of the ice. Pretty routine hooking call against Sam Gagne.
The former London Knight takes his seat. Anaheim gets their second power play chance of the night. Second power play unit comes out, and as they drop the puck, they get a false draw. They'll do it again. I'm not sure some of the players heard the whistle at first. Now Perreault does win the draw. And Robidas broke his stick attempting a one-timer. So 4-on-4 until Robidas can get a new stick. Beauchemin with a nice little move at the line, able to buy some time. And then it's knifed off Perreault's stick. Back in front, just out of the reach of Solani. He was battling with Hendricks down low. Perreault lost the handle just briefly enough. And now whips it across the zone. Robidas is there. Open at the line, Beauchemin. High one-timer, tipped just wide. Solani waved his stick at it. Palmieri puts it behind the net. Teemu got to it. Tracked by Frazier. Plays it back for Beauchemin at the line. And now Robidas. Quick wrist shot kicked away off the stick of Francois Beauchemin. As Victor Fost was able to see that one, and finally the Oilers clear.
Oh, good puck movement. A couple of dangerous looking shots. against Victor Foss, but both redirects, and in both cases, it sure looked to me like Foss had a pretty good look at it.
Getzlaf leads it in for Maroon. Under a minute to go on the power play, and around the boards it's tipped up on top of the dasher and cleared away. Good defensive play by Martin Marinchik, a native of Slovakia. Played on the Slovak Olympic team in Sochi, Russia, just over a month ago. Perry drops it for Getzlaf as again the Ducks gain the zone. Ricocheted right on goal as I think it may have hit the skate of Maroon. And Fost with another stop. Shots now 9-8 in favor of Edmonton, who were once out shooting the Ducks 7-1. Lindholm gains the zone and chips it to the corner, but no one had any speed in the blue line for Anaheim that time. Getzlaf pulls it off the boards under a minute in the period. 10 seconds in the power play. He and Lindholm play catch out high. Hampus takes a look, flips it towards the net stick, save Victor Foss. The rebound swept away. Out of the box, Gagne, the Oilers full strength. And Anaheim 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Anderson skips at the length of the ice over the outstretched stick of Maroon, no icing. And Klefbom with good speed from behind the Edmonton goal. Moves it ahead. Low shot handled by the stick of Anderson, and he covers up the bid off the wing from Jordan Eberle.
Let's go back to the Duck power play chances that they had. Here's the high tip by Teemu Selanne. Gets the shaft of a stick on that, misses by about 6 inches. And then Pat Maroon drives to the front of the net, and that puck, I think, is tipped away from him by the defenseman. Petrie makes a good defensive play, stayed loose, kept the stick available, able to deflect the puck out of harm's way.
Late change disallowed off the Anaheim bench as Silverberg returns to the bench, and off the faceoff, the Oilers unable to contain at the blue line. 20 seconds left in the period, so the fans boo Justin Schultz, just because there might be a little more to it than that. Now it's Gagne off the wing, and Anderson calmly holds it. And just 11.5 seconds left in the opening period.
I would say that Anaheim has picked up their game. Obviously, not the start that they wanted, but I wonder if part of the strategy here with the Oilers having played last night is to play more of a safe period and then ratchet up the pressure as the game moves along.
Face off to the right of Anderson, controlled by the Ducks, and they clear the zone. Koivu with an area pass off the boards, and a strange bounce kept Cogliano from being onside. So that'll do it for the period. And it ends as it began.
Yeah, not a lot of scoring chances, I didn't think, for either team in this one. The goaltenders, for the most part, faced shots from the perimeter. No, very few second chances as well. So it's been a solid defensive game. We'll look for the Ducks to ramp up the forecheck in the second period.
After tonight, just 5 left in the regular season, and the Pacific Division still in question. The Ducks hoping for their second crown in as many years. Victor Foss and the Oilers play them to a scoreless draw through the first 20 minutes tonight here at Honda Center. We're back with more in our first intermission.
Great stop by Victor Foss on Corey Perry. Scoring chances just 3 apiece in the opening period. The Ducks had 2 power plays, came up empty on both of them. Anaheim dominated in the face-off circle.
For more, we go to the Anaheim bench. Ken French standing by with Ducks assistant coach Brad Lauer.
Brad, what do you need to do to pick up the energy and the physical play here in the next 20 minutes?
I think one of the biggest things that gives us success is getting on the forecheck. That period, we only got 1 guy in on the forecheck. The last 2 guys a little bit hanging back. So get in on the forecheck. First guy to make contact, and the second guy's got to be close for the puck.
Brad, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Johnny, back up to you.
Thank you, Kent. Second period set to begin, and the conversation's ongoing. The officials are always there to lend an ear. The Oilers will go from here to Phoenix and round out a 3-game road trip where they will play the Coyotes on Friday before returning home to host the Ducks on Sunday. Before these teams get together again, Anaheim will have 1 more here at Honda Center. That's Friday night when the Nashville Predators come to town.
It's a difficult thing. They're playing out the string, obviously. The same motivational speech every single night used by Dallas Eakins, which is, hey, let's be the spoilers. Let's embrace the role of spoilers. And quite honestly, after you've heard that for a while, it starts to sound a little hollow. Now, there are players in the lineup. That's why we showed that quote earlier from Eakins that said, look, if you've been asking me for more ice time, if you think you can play a bigger role here, now's your chance to show me that you indeed can take that on.
Taylor Hall, 72 points on the season, streaks into the Anaheim zone, finds the trailer, Nugent Hopkins, and a big rebound got away from Hall as Anderson with perhaps one of his best stops of the night.
That was a good stop because there was traffic in front of Freddie Anderson, and that trio of kids for the Oilers, boy, are they dangerous on the rush.
Yeah, they sure are. You can see why, as you were saying earlier, the focus at the outset of this game for the Ducks appeared to be to slow these guys down or stop them, and they need to be the game plan throughout, as the Sharks found out last night in San Jose. Bonino battles the puck off the wall and gets it across. Silverberg angles it into the Edmonton zone as the Ducks go for a change. And out to play it is Victor Foss. Turned it over though. Perry behind the net, lost the handle, and his pass a little bit behind Getzlaf, went off his skate. Robidoux picked up his first goal as a Duck. The overtime winner on Monday ties his man up in the neutral zone. Offside is the call.
Well, controlling the neutral zone. Watch Saku Koivu. He thinks he's got an angle on Taylor Hall here, but Hall is so fast, he's by him in 2 steps. And now it's an outnumbered attack for the Edmonton Oilers, and a good shot by Nugent Hopkins through the screen. Well picked up by Frederik Andersen. Puts it right through the legs of Hampus Lindholm. Good rush, boy, he's quick. Those first couple of strides from Taylor Hall are just so explosive.
It was interesting, Hall talking earlier this week about this season, his 4th in Edmonton. None have resulted in postseason appearances. He says this has been the toughest year of the 4 by far for me, and yet he's had a bit of a breakthrough. He's better than a point-a-game guy. He leads the team in goal scoring, leads the team in assists and points. He's had a wonderful individual season, but it was the expectations that he was referring to. Spoke with Stefan Robidoux, who had that game winner that I just referenced 2 nights ago. Brian, his family is still back in Dallas, including his 11-year-old son, who he told me for Christmas got a phone. So he said, my boy gets up in the morning, and he doesn't get to stay up and watch the game, so then he saw what happened and he watched it on his phone. So he immediately called me and he said, Dad, you got to work on your goal celebration. A wonderful moment in Robidaux's career, and his first goal as a Duck, and all his son could take from it is you need to have a better goal scoring celebration. Perreault's bid is blocked as Kanye went to his knees to deny that bid. And now it's David Perron with Gagne into the Anaheim zone. Bad angle shot is smothered by Anderson.
We were talking about Taylor Hall's frustration with this team not being in the playoffs. I mean, you look at the last 8 years for the Edmonton Oilers, and this is just absolute misery. 8 years ago, 25th in the league, then 19th the following year, then 21st. You think they're getting better? Then 30th, 30th, 29th, 24th, and 29th. I mean, it's amazing that they have been able to hang on to their fans the way that they have been able to hang on them. It's a rabid fan base in Edmonton, but I'll tell you,
it is a frustrated fan base, though.
Very few markets could survive that kind of team performance for 8 consecutive years. A lot of teams have gone to the bottom in order to get back to the top, but that's usually a 4 to 5 year turnaround.
I don't know if you mentioned it or not, Brian, but 29th this year. I mean, they're in line for perhaps yet another first overall pick, and at worst, a 3rd overall pick. The Buffalo Sabres have wrapped up dead last, so they'll have the best chance to win the lottery and have the first overall pick. But Edmonton will have the 2nd best opportunity. And the Oilers going to be called for icing here.
Be interested to see if at some point in this game Bruce Boudreau changes the matchup and gets the Getzlaf line out on the ice against Eberle and Hall. He doesn't want an exchange of scoring chances, but he's not getting much generated so far tonight against Victor Foss. And sometimes you can change personnel as a coach. You can also change the matchups if you're the home coach in particular as to who you want your lines to play against.
Tucks into the Edmonton zone, but the pass in front knocked away by Fraser. Turns it over to Raquel. Raquel in front, and a great save by Foss.
He moves into the puck. That's the thing about Victor Foss.
Solani back in front looking for Raquel again, and that was denied. To the high slot, Bolesky's shot blocked, but it comes back to Beauchemin, keeps it in the zone, knocked down by Belov. And he works it up the wall. And the Oilers get it as far as the blue line, but no further as Bolesky takes it back, and that's in the glove of Victor Foss.
I want to go back to that save on Rickard Rakell and watch how Victor Foss moves into the puck. He's a technician. He'll push off the left skate right there, and so he's after the save. His body is actually sliding in the direction in which the rebound has gone. And we call that moving into the shot. And a real strong technical goaltender like Victor Foss does it virtually every time.
Foss 2-1-1 as an Oiler, as once again Edmonton is called icing. He's missed a total of 52 games this season because of a myriad of injuries, lower body injuries with the Ducks, the neck injury that I mentioned earlier since he went to Edmonton. I mean, these last few games are very important to Victor Foss.
They sure are. Right? They're also important, I think, to the Oilers brass in that they get to see what their team really looks like with stable goaltending. I mean, it was just not good enough at the beginning of the season, and a big part of the reason why they were quickly out of it once again.
The Oilers have used 6 different goaltenders this season, and they're dead last in the league in goals against average as a result. Getzlaf tries to work down low in the Edmonton zone. Marincin comes away with it and uses the glass to clear. Robidoux gets to it before it goes far enough for icing, and he has Ryan Smith all over him.
He wanted to reverse that puck, and a little hook on the hands by Smith prevented him from doing so. And now the Oilers have got a forecheck going.
Perry's stick thrown out of his hands by Ryan Smith. That's a little table turn on Perry. We've seen him throughout the years do that to opponents on a regular basis, but rarely does it happen to Corey. Ducks will change, and the Oilers right back into the Anaheim zone. David Perron leaves it for Gagne, and his bad angle shot deflected out of play by Beauchemin.
Gagne is shooting, you know that. Every time the puck's on his stick, he just shoots it.
Secure your seats for the upcoming Stanley Cup playoffs now by signing up for a ticket plan for the upcoming 2014-15 season. Call 877-WILD-WING or go to AnaheimDucks.com/playoffs. Face off to the left of Anderson. He was credited with 13 saves to this point, and Anaheim with another face-off win. Had a good first period in the face-off circle, winning nearly 2/3 of the draws. Lindholm steps up in the neutral zone, fires it across Maroon's onside. Trying to get it to the net as he had Palmieri driving to center lane, but it's blocked. And Hall gets on it first. He's in. Backhander saved by Anderson. Taken out of the goal crease by Lovejoy.
That's a save by Frederik Anderson right there.
And he just missed springing Perreault. Did Lovejoy as he cleared the zone. Now it's Eberle trying to go through the middle, and it's off of Silverberg. Spiza goes back after it. Braces himself for the hit from Hall. Eberle leaves it for Nugent Hopkins. Great move out of the corner, but he fell to his knees and couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. Cogliano trying to outlet, and Eberle didn't give up at the blue line, keeping it in the Anaheim zone. Both teams go for changes. Brian Allen wipes it over for Spiza. Short little pass to Koivu, who sends it into the Edmonton zone, only to have it sent right back. Lucas Spiza wires it around and in. Anton Belov, the Russian native, reverses it away from Koivu, and it's Gagne with speed through center, and he'll just lift it in on goal. Anderson will hold back. Just over 6 minutes into the second period, still scoreless.
Pat Maroon had the puck in the offensive zone, trying to get it through to Palmieri. It's off a skate, up in the air, and look at Taylor Hall. He can absolutely fly. He dekes to the backhand, tries to open up the goaltender. Look what stops this puck. It's the stick of Frederik Anderson. That's good technique to be able to push sideways and still keep that goal stick of yours in the 5-hole. You don't see that very often anymore. Johnny, you were commenting on that during the break.
Yeah. What's the stick doing there?
It's stick on the ice.
What's that all about? Anderson, native of Denmark, going up against a fellow countryman tonight from Edmonton. Philip Larson, who hasn't seen a lot of ice time in this one. Pressed into duty as a forward tonight, a defenseman by trade. And this pass off the stick of Solani into the Anaheim bench.
Moments ago, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins went to the Oilers locker room. We're not sure why he did that. Could be just an equipment issue. We'll keep you informed. I'm sure Dallas Eakins has already been informed by his training staff.
I think that Eakins is pretty pleased to this point in this hockey game. Talking about his club and being very honest earlier this week, he said, it seems we get into a game and everything is fine, and then we have a hiccup along the way that sends us spiraling. Well, no hiccups so far.
Bruce Boudreau has talked about that with his Edmonton team too. The fact that within each game, they play some exceptional hockey every single night. And then they have their moments when it's a little bit of a fire drill, and the key is to really bear down on your chances and exploit them when they have those moments.
Good work by Raquel as he took 2 Edmonton players into the boards, but the Oilers the other way, only to see a fallen stick break up a pass, and now Raquel taps it back for Stefan Robidas. He's got a lot of room up the middle, and now cuts to the left boards and sends it in, but Anaheim offside.
The Ducks defense have played a very conservative game so far tonight, and I think that's out of respect for the Oilers' speed, especially on their top 2 lines. Nugent-Hopkins, by the way, back to the Oiler bench, but not a lot of Anaheim point men to this point in the game joining the rush or leading the rush for that matter.
There is the aforementioned Philip Larson, the former Dallas Star, throws it in. Goes after it himself. Larson came over in the summer in the deal that sent Sean Horkoff to the Stars. Marincin had to glove it down, but then couldn't work it deeper into the zone and had to retreat defensively. Well, that was offside as Hendricks played it the blue line, but play goes on. And now Corey Perry given very little room as he comes into the Edmonton zone. Hendricks has it taken away by Bonino down low, tapped to Getzlaf by Perry. Wires it back. Lovejoy's shot, no traffic though, and an easy glove save for Fast.
Yeah, and that's Victor Fast getting a good read on the play, knowing he's got a little bit of space around him. So anything shot his direction, he's going to try and catch. He's an experienced goaltender. He knows that if you catch the puck, there's no worries about a second opportunity.
There you go with those fundamentals again.
Well, this guy is a fundamental goaltender. I mean, we knew that about Vic Fast when he arrived from Sweden, that they're technically very sound. He puts rebounds in the right spot.
Remember, he won his first 8 games last year. First goaltender in NHL history to do that since Bob Froese in 1983. Fast, of course, in his 30s when he came to the NHL after a successful career back in Sweden, as well as a career as a part-time school teacher as well. Great story. Guy who really earned his keep. And now space again for Hall, who races into the Anaheim zone, and Anderson denies again. Well, Taylor Hall last night had 10 shots on goal. Oh, by the way, had a 3-point game as well. And he is flying right now.
He's been the best player in this game. I don't think there's any question.
Now it's Gagne who trickles it across the neutral zone. Frazier sends it in. I beg your pardon, Brian. You were right. Taylor Hall had 4 points last night. Hard to sell a guy short when he has a 10-shot on goal game, but I just did. Petrie holds it in at the line, trying to find a shooting angle and get around Palmieri, who stays with him. He rolls it right to the top of the goal crease, and the first penalty of the game will be called against Anaheim. Palmieri's going to go for a hook.
Yeah, Petrie walks around Kyle Palmieri, and now Palmieri's on the wrong side and doesn't want to give Petrie free access to the middle of the ice with the puck. So he's reaching right here, that stick. A little bit of a hook right there on the hands. The first one was not called. The second one on the hands is what will cost Kyle Palmieri a couple of minutes.
Edmonton 0 for 6 this season against the Ducks on the power play. With their first chance here tonight.
Oilers are vulnerable to the short-handed goal, John, so don't be surprised if Getzlaf, Perry, when he's back out there, put a little challenge on this Edmonton blue line.
They have given up the most in the league, 13 short-handed goals coming into tonight. Taylor Hall pokes it deep into the Anaheim zone and sends it around near side. Trying to keep it alive is Ryan Smith. Squirts into the middle of the ice though, and Bonino takes his time, then feathers it in, allowing Anaheim to get a change on the penalty kill.
Cogliano jumps off the bench, and boy, he is just flying. And he gets good pressure and forces the turnover. Great effort by Cogliano.
Former first-round pick of the Oilers, Andrew Cogliano. Taken 25th overall in 2005. Spent his first 4 years as a member of the Oil. That looked offside. The play goes on. Schultz gives it to Ryan Smith. Down low for Hall. Near circle. It's Nugent Hopkins. Hall can't slide it through Brian Allen, who laid the right leg down to block that. Telwyn Schultz has it. Nugent Hopkins with a drive, and just getting enough of it was Anderson, who's knocked on his keister. Hall ran into the referee trying to come out of the corner. That buys Anaheim a little more time. Schultz walks the line.
Ryan Smith, the guy in front of the net.
Schultz one-timer blocked by Bolesky, who will slide it all the way down.
Big stop again by Anderson. Boy, he has been terrific. You know, Bruce Boudreau said about Freddie Anderson, I want to see how he does playing consecutive games here. Got the win against the Jets. Wasn't a perfect game by him, but still played a pretty good game. Tonight, he's been sensational.
Robidas starts from behind the Anaheim goal. The penalty is over to Palmieri. The Ducks full strength. One shot on goal for the Oilers on that man advantage. Larson throws it through the middle, broken up and tipped ahead for Bonino by Getzlaf. Bonino tries to return the favor, but Marincin stepped in the way. Getzlaf pulls it out of the corner though. Spiza winds, lets it go. Big rebound off of Fost. Collected by Gagne. David Perron sends it as far as the Anaheim line, gloved down by Allen, who has to be next to play it, otherwise it would have been whistled down. Bonino shot through the traffic of Corey Perry, and I don't know if it ever got to Fost. Spiza holds it in, bounces behind the net for Bonino. Nick Bonino quickly given back to him by Corey Perry, who goes to the front of the net. Bonino finds Spiza as he drifts back out towards the stripe. Doesn't have a shooting lane, so he angles it to the corner. Perry lets it go, and behind the net, it's dragged along by Boyd Gordon. Gordon for the Oilers bounces it to the line. Spiza got a leg on it. It ends up in the bench, and then Hendricks roughs him up. And they start mixing it up right in front of the Anaheim bench.
Well, this goes back to the last game where Hendricks had taken a couple of runs at Anaheim players and overall played a very abrasive game. And you know that the Ducks are pretty darn aware of him when he's on the ice tonight.
And we'll see what comes of that when we come back.
No score between the Ducks and Oilers during the second period here at Honda Center. Down behind the Ducks bench with Corey Perry. I know you're familiar with the Edmonton goaltender. How do you create some more scoring chances against Victor Fost?
Well, when Vic sees the puck, he's going to stop it. We just got to get some traffic, some more shots. I mean, we only have 13 shots halfway through the game, and if we get some more, we're going to be all right.
Corey, appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, Johnny, back to you.
Thank you, Kent. Before we went away to the timeout there, Lucas Spiza and Matt Hendricks were mixing it up. They each get 2 minutes for roughing. Hendricks adding to his over 100 penalty minute total on the season. Second time in his career he has eclipsed the century mark in penalty minutes. And for the first time tonight, Brian will play 4-on-4.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous Edmonton team, 4-on-4. Nugent Hopkins, Taylor Hall, they've got that great speed. Justin Schultz is going to be a real threat in the 4-on-4 situation in terms of joining the rush.
They have 12 goals 4-on-4 this season, the most in the National Hockey League. And for a team that at even strength 5-on-5 is minus 51, 4-on-4 does suit them. They're +1 in the goal differential category are the Oilers. No score, well over halfway through the hockey game at Honda Center. And look out, Cookout, 2-on-1, here are the Oilers. Taylor Hall. That's deflected wide. He had Schultz joining him in a great defensive play there. I think it was Spiza who got a piece of that. And the Oilers can't hold the zone, so Klefbom forced to retreat. Boy, Taylor Hall has just been in the middle of anything dangerous tonight for Edmonton.
He's been incredible. Just 22 years of age, the first overall pick in 2010. He's a good one.
Now room for Palmieri through the neutral zone. Goes wide on Marincin. Forces him behind the net. Still possesses the puck. Open at the point. Beauchemin rifles it across. Romanov shot. Got through. Sprawling. Unable to cover was Victor Foss for the rebound. Taken out of harm's way by the Oilers.
We got a delayed penalty coming up against Matthew Perreault here.
And it's Everly who storms into the Anaheim zone. The puck touched up now by Palmieri, and it's going to be a 4-on-3 power play for the Oilers for the first 28 seconds.
Matthew Perreault was trying to hunt down this rebound. Here comes the point shot. Tries to push off, and then right there, he gets his stick in between the legs of Petrie. Petrie gets the feet moving. It's a tripping penalty against him. There was the cross pass that Ben Lovejoy was able to kick up his legs and prevent that puck from getting through to Justin Schultz. That was Taylor Hall who tried to feather that across. Great defensive play made by Ben Lovejoy.
Second power play of the night for Edmonton as Bruce Boudreau's penalty kill on the spot here. A little old school 4-on-3 for nearly a half a minute.
The other thing about this big line of the Oilers, they're all kids. So they've got lots of energy. They never leave the ice.
Big face-off win as Beauchemin's able to clear.
Seems like they've played the last 5 minutes of this period.
And Hall winds it up on left wing into the Anaheim zone and streaks wide on Robidas. Over comes Beauchemin, who finishes him, and the puck at the front of the net recovered by the Oilers.
You've got to be careful on the 4-on-3 to hit anybody.
Schultz for Taylor Hall, who had a little trouble with it. Now the coincidentals to Spiza and Hendricks are over. Spiza joins the play, chops the stick of Hall as he pulls the trigger.
A nice stop, though, by Freddie Anderson again.
So now a more conventional 5-on-4, and Nugent Hopkins with a good bid. Anderson short side denying with the glove hand. Schultz gives it to Nugent Hopkins, and the quick pass down low is juggled and batted out of midair by Taylor Hall. Spiza battles it out of the zone.
Yeah, good clear. Good battle won between Spiza and Nugent Hopkins there. Anderson with some terrific stops. Not only in the 4-on-3, that first 5-on-4 bid as well was a good one.
Here's a turnover in the neutral zone, short-handed, Ducks 2-on-2. Getzlaf cuts to the middle, lets it go just over top, and he got the glass. He gets it back. Some good work by Silverberg to tie up a couple different Oiler players as his stick was tied up, but he kicked the puck along. And Getzlaf hasn't given up on this one. Finally, the puck angled out. The Oilers down to half a minute on the power play. Gagne into the Anaheim zone. Cuts to the middle. Knocked off his stick by Silverberg. He's at the end of his shift. So it's recovered by Larson. Philip Larson drives up the right boards. Pulls up on the half wall. Marincin gives it back to him. Lets it go, and that's off the stick of Lovejoy and wide. Recovered by Perron, and again the Oilers move it over for Larson. Rolling puck that he dusts off. And he scores! Ryan Smith was in front. I don't know if he may have gotten a redirect on that or not. I think that's Larson's goal.
Larson, who's normally an offensive-minded defenseman, kind of works this puck around, and watch what he does. Right-handed shot, so he's got a good shooting angle. And he catches Frederik Andersen leaning away from the short side top corner, and that shot is perfect. You know that Ryan Smith prevented Anderson from getting a good look at it. We'll be able to see from our own. We can't really see there whether or not Smith touched it or not. Does it go off Brian Allen? Yeah, it does. It goes off Brian Allen, changes direction and up into the top corner. And here we go again. The Ducks trailing at home.
1-0 Edmonton with under 4 to go in the second period, and Anton Belov all the way behind the Anaheim goal. Back to the line, Belov slides it over for Frazier, and it's an energized Edmonton group right now. The net is off behind Frederik Andersen. Brian, I want to ask you on that goal, maybe we can look at it again. Ryan Smith may have been screening Anderson, but he was He had his stick over to the other side, looking like he wanted to tip this puck, almost as if he was asking Larson to shoot it over there. As a goaltender, do you sometimes see that and maybe cheat a little bit because Smith has his stick over on the other side, almost as if he's asking for the puck over there?
You're aware of it. There's no question. But, you know, the bottom line is it's a deflected puck. Anderson was already on the move, and all of a sudden, a power play goal has the Oilers leading by a score of 1-0.
The Oilers lead 1-0 with 3.5 to play second period. Brian, this is why they play the games. I suspect a few televisions in the Bay Area got kicked on Monday night when Anaheim came from 4 back to defeat Winnipeg. And last night, maybe a couple remote controls in Southern California got tossed in the final 10 minutes of the Sharks game up the coast against the Edmonton Oilers. Tonight, here are the Oilers, well out of the playoffs, leading the division, leading Ducks 1-0.
They have been the comeback kids this season. 4 wins when trailing after 2, and 2 of those coming in the last 4 games. But it's not the formula for success that Bruce Boudreau is really hoping for.
Here's a turnover in front and a backhander hoisted over top by Nick Bonino. Well, the Oilers will give you some chances. They lead the league in giveaways, and they have a young defense to boot. Lindholm's pass a little too hot to handle into the high slot for Getzlaf, forces Hampus all the way back into his own zone after. Pass tipped off the stick of Perry, who stays on side as Petrie plays it across. Lander jams it deep into the Anaheim zone, and Anderson is there to stop it for Hampus Lindholm. Shots are 21-14 in favor of the Oilers. Now Anaheim coughs it up at their own blue line. Perron on side, but it's knifed away, and Getzlaf just cannot get the handle as Lovejoy had seemingly found him. Great backhand pass to Bonino, tries to go short side off the stick of Foss.
Short side pull by Nick Bonino last game that got the Ducks going.
Palmieri strides in, lines up Klefbom, gets a bump on him as he reverses the puck away, and Robidas can't hold it at the point. Boschman has to hinge over and hustle back into his own zone to get it. Angles it off the boards. Palmieri drops it back with speed. It's Matthew Perreault. Perreault fights through a couple of checks, gets the puck down low. Maroon pursues it. Up the wall, Robidas wins the race. Behind the net for Matthew Perreault. Back for Maroon. Big Pat Maroon in front looking for Perreault, and that was snipped out and intercepted. Across the slot, dropping down, was Lander. And now Boschman's shot deflected out of play off of David Perron.
Well, the Ducks had a couple of chances. One by Nick Bonino, a turnover by the Oilers' blue line, and he's trying to go top shelf, but misses by about a foot in the wide corner. The forecheck is what brought the Ducks back last game against the Winnipeg Jets, where they were having a similar type game where they appeared flat for stretches in the game. It was body contact that seemed to get the bench riled up and energized. Boudreau was talking about that earlier today. I'd like to see a little bit more physical play.
Raquel and Bolesky team up to recover the puck in the corner, straight up in the air. That thing landed just to the right of Foss, who never saw it. Got some serious airtime. Bolesky's wraparound bid is taken out of the slot by Pinizzato. And he gets it into the Anaheim zone. Petrie pounces on a big St. Anderson. Bolesky at the blue line, bumped by Frazier, loses the puck, is now under a minute remains in the middle frame. Hard pass ahead by Petrie, taken in by Eberle, gets it into the middle, big glove save by Anderson on who else? Taylor Hall.
Boy, Taylor Hall has had some chances, and Frederik Andersen once again has been terrific in this game. This is dead in the slot. Anderson moves across with that big frame of his, and Taylor Hall just shovels it right in his glove. The thing about these elite players like Taylor Hall that make them so fun to watch, they do everything at top speed. Shoot the puck, they don't slow down when they're in the act of shooting.
He just got another good one on that, and a better stick save by Anderson. He had 10 shots on goal last night. He's got 5 tonight. Well, that's 15 in the last 5 periods. Hall has it now in his own zone. Can't clear past Silverberg, who trips going after the loose puck. And now Klefbom trying to be careful. Schultz moves it away. It's Hall with space through center, and he rockets it across. Nugent Hopkins trying to find Klefbom. The trailer goes through him, and Silverberg didn't realize there was as much time left in the period as there was, and he's unable to do anything with it. And the second period comes to a close. The game has only 1 goal. It belongs to Philip Larson, and the Oilers have the lead after 2.
It's a power play goal for Philip Larson. The Ducks, a wink by Frederik Andersen and a former teammate, and Victor Faust. And you know what? They know that if they're going to get back and get the 2 points in this game, they have got to get more traffic in front of Faust, and they got to get more pressure on this Edmonton Oiler blue line.
Well, as you can see, Frederik Andersen's been very good. 23 saves through 2 periods. That one eluded him, and it's the difference in the hockey game thus far. As we are moments away from the start of the 3rd period of play, hard to believe if we got a goal tonight that it didn't include Taylor Hall, Brian.
It really does. Only because of some exceptional work from Frederik Andersen. Hall's been dynamic. He's been almost unstoppable at times every single shift. He seems to be able to jump into the holes. The Ducks can't catch him. You can't hit what you can't catch. That's what coaches say sometimes. And Taylor Hall has been flying tonight from the opening faceoff.
The 6-shot performance through 2 periods tonight, as I mentioned earlier, and it bears repeating, comes on the heels of a game in which he had a goal, 3 assists, and 10 shots on goal just last night in San Jose. He's really come into his own here in the last 2 seasons, a little bit bit by an injury bug through the first 4 years of his career, but I don't think there's any doubt he's everything everyone thought he could become when he was taken 1st overall in 2010.
Yeah, he improved on his last season, one in which he was actually 9th overall in the NHL in scoring and 3rd in the Western Conference. So, you know, this is a guy that looks like he's not even close, John, to his prime at this point. Those wheels are something to behold.
Just 22 years of age, native of Calgary. Played for Windsor in the OHL for 3 years, where he was a teammate of Cam Fowler's for a year. Incidentally, Cam Fowler began skating this week and was in full gear on Monday on the ice with the team as we get a collision after an icing call here. Corey Perry tangled up with Victor Faust. And Perry very ginger as he heads back towards the Anaheim bench.
See if we can pick it up. Victor Faust goes to play the puck. Corey Perry tried to throw the brakes on and just lost an edge. Watch him right here. You know, he's trying to avoid the contact with Victor Faust. You worry when a player falls that way if he doesn't sprain his ankle a little bit, John. That's always the concern when I see a skate go out from under a player who's in the stopping motion.
Perry in obvious discomfort. Flips around on the Anaheim bench so that Joe Huff, Ducks athletic trainer, can attend to him. There was no icing call. They just stopped the play. So they drop it at center ice again just a couple of seconds into this, the 3rd period. Marincin intercepts, and here's Hall again. And off the glove of Andersen, it goes just wide. Boy, right on cue. Yet another shot on goal for Taylor Hall. Getzlaf gets it to the net, steered to the high glass in the corner by Faust, and off the glass and out of play.
Yeah, this is again good technique from Victor Faust, who angles that goal stick back and deflects the puck up and over the glass. He's very trying to put a little bit more weight on that foot. He's always had one of the great poker faces, hasn't he? You try to figure out what's going on with Corey Perry, and you can't tell if he's in pain or not.
Keep an eye on him and hopefully see him on the ice soon. In the meantime, the Oilers clear the zone. And Beauchemin back to get it. 1-0 Edmonton as we are in the first minute of the 3rd period of play. Through the middle of the ice, Maroon tips it into the Oilers zone. Anton Lander takes a hit but moves it away. Gagne serves it on the wing. Right through Perron is the centering pass from Schultz, who got cranked behind the net. And that always meets to the approval of the Honda Center faithful. Give the Ducks fans credit. It's It's been a couple of years, but they give no quarter to Justin Schultz. Spiza bumped as he goes back to play it. And around to the near side, Pinizzato upends Silverberg. Frazier from the point sends it across. Anderson fights it off. Can't corral it. Now does reel it in and cover up as it was in the feet of Ryan Smith.
Where Ryan Smith has, of course, made his living. There's the battle between he and Spiza. See what Lucas Spiza does? He just says, I'm going to lift the stick of Ryan Smith and I'm going to let my goaltender find the puck.
18-year veteran Smith in his second tour of duty with the Oilers. Cogliano's shot tipped on the way by Silverberg went just wide. Fost waving at it. Ryan Allen tries to hold the line but has to retreat. And now it's Smith trying to keep Raquel at bay. Raquel knocks it loose and Silverberg angles it back. Raquel, Silverberg, and Cogliano for the Ducks, and here they come into the Edmonton zone. And Raquel has to jump over Beloff and can't keep his balance.
A good play by Beloff. He completely sealed off that passing lane. Raquel had a player with him streaming down the middle of the ice.
Larson to the corner, bodies up Lovejoy and takes the puck away. It trickles into the slot. Will Acton very nearly came up with it. Solani plays it over to the near side, and Larson out battles him for the puck. Lovejoy with a big hit on Hendricks down low. And then Larson bumps Raquel. Puck held in at the line, and friendly fire hits Hendricks on the point shot. No one knows where the puck is. It's in the equipment of either Bonino or Marincin at the line, and finally a whistle as Marincin, I think it might have been in the cuff of his glove.
Here's that play as Beloff just slides towards Rickard Rakell. He tries to dive over top of him. And Silverberg screaming down the middle of the ice, and no one knows where the puck is. And then Marincin just shakes it out of the right glove.
Oilers control at center. Not yet 3 minutes into the third period, and here's Taylor Hall again. Eberle drives, and he gets the pass and scores. Boy, that was textbook.
You can't stop this kid tonight. I mean, Eberle gets the goal, but this is all Taylor Hall. In the open ice. And a quick pass across, and it's in the back of the net. Boy, look at the separation he gets. Timing is perfect on the pass. And the finish for Eberle.
Last time there was a full NHL season 2 years ago, Jordan Eberle had 34 goals. That's his 26th this season, and Hall with the assist.
And Dallas Eakins just isn't taking him off the ice. He's just leaving him out there. I mean, he's got so much gas left in the tank. The Oilers, by the way, very few players came down to skate today after having played last night in San Jose. And Boudreau continues to fix the lines up. Matt Bolesky out now.
Corey Perry back on the ice, and that may be the best news of this shift for Anaheim. Here's Nugent Hopkins, brings it into the middle. Glove save Anderson. What a save on the rebound on Nugent Hopkins as well. Anderson didn't quit on it, and now the long lead pass to Bolesky. Tries to spin off of Petrie. Got it to Perry, and he scores!
Well, Perry brings him back, but remember that save by Frederik Andersen.
Which one?
Unbelievable
Because he makes a
series of
couple.
stops. It's the rebound save right there on Nugent Hopkins that is remarkable. The puck goes up the ice. Bolesky finds Corey Perry, and he buries it on the blocker side of Victor Fost. Remember earlier in the game, he tried to go high glove, and Fost picked it off with the left hand. Well, he learned something from that. 40th goal of the season. Congratulations to Corey Perry.
Second 40-goal season of his career. It comes just 37 seconds after the Eberle goal. That's a big answer for Anaheim. I think many of us were just happy to see Corey Perry back on the ice after that awkward fall at the outset of the period. Not only does he come back on the ice, but he gets his 40th of the year. And the crowd for the first time in a long time into the hockey game. 2-1 Edmonton. Just over 4 minutes into the second period, and here's a turnover. Here's Perreault trying to get it in front to Silverberg, but that was blocked. Defensive play by Eberle, who comes up with it and then lobs it back to center ice. Ducks storm right back in. Robidas drives up the right boards, gets it from Beauchemin, but his shot blocked by Fraser. Raquel seals it off on the far wall, swipes it to the front of the net, nobody home in black, and Fraser rims it around.
And a pretty good patience shown there by Mark Fraser on that clear.
Pinizzotto got rocked by Spiza. Stays with him, and Allen shovels it up the far boards. Ricard Raquel does a nice job to protect it, but his pass was behind Jakob Silverberg. Marincin throws it through the middle. Allen intercepts and sends it in deep. Victor Foss gets a stick on it. Marincin bumped by Cogliano. The puck's still there. Raquel got it to the front of the net. Bobbled. Perry off the side of the net.
Blew the whistle.
And they blew the whistle.
Yeah, blew the whistle, and I think Victor Foss might be hurt here, John.
Now remember, he was suffering from a neck injury that happened in practice when he collided with a teammate and fell back into the goalpost, and he takes the helmet off and immediately checks the neck while Cogliano and Marincin are separated off the back of the Edmonton goal.
Well, the Ducks show their hunger as they go after this loose puck. Foss can't quite get to it. Boy, never had it covered. Whistle had gone. That would not have counted if Corey Perry had slammed that puck into the back of the net.
I didn't really see, but this will be the best view to see what happens to Victor Foss here.
There's Corey Perry. He was able to jar it loose from under the left hand of Victor Foss. It almost looked like he may have got clipped with a stick in the throat. I think it's a slash. I think Cogliano was going for the rebound, may have inadvertently slashed him right underneath the goal mask. Foss looks okay. Coincidental minor penalties have been handed out to Marincin and to Andrew Cogliano, so 4-on-4, and again, not a bad deal for the Ducks when you're trailing in the game.
Getzlaf wins the draw. Lindholm, shot pass to Getzlaf, back to Perry, and he fanned.
Well, they had
that
it
was set up.
Yeah, it sure was.
Frederick Anderson picked up the secondary assist on the Perry goal moments ago. As the Ducks are back within one. Edmonton on top 2-1, and Lindholm denies at the blue line. Getzlaf trying to get it away from Nugent Hopkins. Perry comes in and took it off the stick of Taylor Hall. Getzlaf into the middle for Perry. Runs it down behind the net, chips it to the corner. And Getzlaf trying to get away from Klefbom. Oh, he hooked it right in front, just missed Lindholm. Lovejoy holds the zone. Getzlaf fires it across, and off the corner boards, Perry gets to it. Can't chip and jump around Klefbom. And Gagne puts it into the middle of the ice, picked off by Perreault. Storms into the Edmonton zone, 1-on-2. Tried to use the defense as a screen, but fired it wide. Robidas holds at the right point. Down low for Palmieri. Corrals it, brings it near side, nearly stuffed it. Foss was looking the wrong way. Ducks getting to all the loose pucks now. Into the slot, it's Matthew Perreault. Handles it across, and it's tipped right on and covered by Victor Foss. The Oilers built a 2-0 lead thanks to Jordan Eberle, but 37 seconds later, Corey Perry had an answer.
It's a great glove save by Foss in the opening period of this game. And Perry learned from that. This time he goes blocker, beats the Oiler netminder. Goal number 40 for Corey Perry puts him second to only Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. Quite a year. Again, the consistency, just remarkable, John. He takes a beating night after night after night in order to get that big frame of his into position to score.
And keep this in mind, folks, he scores huge goals. 22 seconds left in the game Monday night. He scores the game-tying goal. He's second in the league with 9 game-winning goals, including one with just over a second to go in overtime against Vancouver earlier this year. I mean, he's the guy when you need a goal that you want on the ice, because more often than not, he delivers. Long way to go here at Honda Center as Anderson covers with over 13 minutes to play.
And John, you can feel it, can't you, in the building? You can kind of feel the building has come alive. The Ducks have got some life in their game again.
2-1, but look out. Taylor Hall is on the ice for Edmonton. And that has spelled bad news for Anaheim on a regular basis tonight. He flushes Spiza from behind the goal.
Yeah, 2 scoring chances for Edmonton in this third period. One was the Nugent-Hopkins goal, and the other one, or excuse me, the Eberle goal. And then Nugent-Hopkins had a chance as well. So it's the same cast of characters involved in all the offense for the Oilers tonight.
As you said earlier, here's a giveaway, and it's hoisted over top by Nugent-Hopkins. As you said earlier, Brian, there's no secrets. The Ducks knew that that line was not to be quibbled with, but not to say they have. The Oilers' top line has just been almost unstoppable. The minor penalties are over to Cogliano and Marincin. It's back to 5-on-5. Here's Cogliano on the doorstep. Big rebound. Oh, it flutters to the near side as Silverberg came in hard and got a stick on it.
Good stop by Victor Fast, and one of the few opportunities for the Ducks with a rebound bid in this game.
Perron knocks down the long outlet pass and diagonally throws it into the Anaheim zone. Cross corner dump is picked up by Gagne, who cycles back for Anton Lander. Lander does a header towards the boards, but keeps the puck alive, gets back up and joins the play, and sweeps it behind the Anaheim goal. Robidoux reversing it away from Perron's pressure, and now space for Beauchemin. Long lead pass intended for Perry, went off the linesman at the blue line. And as the Ducks try to straighten out their changes, Beauchemin had to come back and get it again. Getzlaf strides into the Edmonton zone after it, and Klefbom stops behind the net. Getzlaf very nearly took it right off his blade. Smith tries to clear up the near side and gets tangled up with Brian Allen. Puck to Corey Perry. Getzlaf takes a look. Behind the net, drags it along, trying to get away from Boyd Gordon. Sends it out high. Perry with a long shot that's blocked by Pinizzato all the way back behind the Anaheim goal.
Anaheim defense now starting to pinch down the wall every single time too, John. And similar posture to that they adopted against the Winnipeg Jets the other night.
Perreault to the corner, contesting Ryan Smith. Acton behind the net has it for Edmonton. Given a rough ride by Spiza, who just flat took it away from him. Maroon protects with his body. Loses it to Acton. Larson one-timed it over top of the net. Acton's shot is blocked into the middle, and Maroon is on it. Gets it ahead for Perreault. Wide onto the left boards. Tries to give it back to Maroon. He goes to the wall after it. Just about halfway through the third period. 3-on-2. Come the Oilers the other way. Marincin takes a long wrist shot. The defenseman missing everything. Maroon moves it ahead, and a quick pass tipped over the defender by Palmieri, who chases it down in the Edmonton zone. Circles the net. Centers. Cogliano can't get it out of his skates. Trying to get it back to the point for Lindholm, but it's intercepted by Eberle. And Cogliano hounds him back through neutral ice. Angles it ahead to Silverberg. He'll cut to the middle of the ice and gain the zone. Trailing the play, Lindholm winds, fires wide. Comes all the way around to Eberle. Oh, Hall and Cogliano get tangled. Play goes on. Eberle drops it for Hall. Back for Eberle. And Lindholm got a stick in there.
What a play. What a great defensive play by Lindholm.
Silverberg angles it in, and he'll go back and get a change. 9:25 to go, third period. Shots 29-22 in favor of Edmonton. The Oil lead it 2-1. Gagne races in after it. Rims it around, and Bolesky has time. Pulls it off the board, but he overled Getzlaf. He'll go right off the side of the Edmonton net, so icing is the call.
Well, the Ducks have got life. They've got more speed through the neutral zone. And Beauchemin pays a price here to keep a loose puck alive. And then Silverberg on the doorstep with an opportunity, a rare rebound left lying around the front of the net by Fast. Here was a defensive play made by Hampus Lindholm. Oilers had numbers. Lindholm steps up, times it perfectly, pokes it away from Eberle.
Ducks win the draw, gets center ice, and it's Perry who storms in after it. Petrie trying to reverse it away, and up the boards he got it to Perron. His clearing attempt was partially blocked. Oh, and then a big hit in the neutral zone as Bolesky drove Anton Lander into the wall in front of the Anaheim bench.
Bolesky wisely holds up on the hit. He didn't want to take any chance that he was going to take a penalty there.
Like Perry, for a guy that we were worried about his ankle early in the period, scores on the tip in. He has got some jump in his step, doesn't he?
Couple things on this goal. First of all, the great hands of Corey Perry, but it's Robidas, the right-handed shot, able to pick it off the boards and no messing around. He just snaps it towards the Oiler net and trusts that Corey Perry's going to get a touch on this puck. He tips it down and underneath the left hand, and the Ducks come all the way back again.
Did I tell you he scores big goals?
40 and 41 tonight for Corey Perry. And the Ducks have done it again. Down 2 early in the third. It's now a 2-2 hockey game.
You know, John, they just score. This team is the #1 offensive team in the NHL. And the ability to score goals solves a lot of problems, that's for sure.
Brian Allen skips one towards the net. Ends up in the near corner as Anaheim now looking for their first lead of the game. Maroon can't get inside on Boyd Gordon. And around the board, Spiza's forced to retreat as Ryan Smith throws it into the middle of the ice. Then Azata went to the bench for a change instead of pursuing the puck, so it's stretched ahead for Palmieri. Drops it for Maroon. Lets it go. Blocked, got his own rebound, put it behind the net. Palmieri didn't see it. Hall gets bumped, but he moves it ahead. Eberle crisscrossing with Nugent Hopkins into the Anaheim zone. Nugent Hopkins shot, fought off by Anderson and swept back out of the zone. Lovejoy able to swat a backhander to neutral ice. Taylor Hall busts right back in to the middle for Nugent Hopkins. Knocked off his stick, converged upon by 2 defenders, and Cogliano comes away with the puck. Knocked off his stick in the neutral zone by the long reach of Mark Frazier. Fost stops it behind the net. And the Oilers will be called for icing here.
No, they waved it off.
Waved it. Wow. Stretch pass off the stick of Cogliano or not? Well, no, but they waved the icing at this end. Linesmen clearly have dinner plans. Boschema's shot blocked in front, and that took a little piece out of Mark Frazier.
Yeah, it was a good block by Frazier, though. He knew he was in the shooting lane, that he might be screening his own goaltender, so he had to suck it up.
Nice move by Raquel as he pulls it off the boards. Ducks have numbers. 3-on-2. Across the line, Perry joins the play, and it's dribbled on goal and held by Victor Fost. And Fost having words with Ricard Raquel after the whistle. He skates all the way to the near circle. Brand new game.
Corey Perry, yeah, you could say he's heating up. This was a game-tying goal late a couple nights ago against the Winnipeg Jets. And here tonight, he just keeps rolling. Wrist shot and a redirect. Here's his night so far, 16-21. He got a pair of goals, 5 shots. He's +2. Look at the last 15 games. He got 11 goals. Corey Perry, since the 10-11 season, has got more game winners than any player in the NHL. He's got 32 of them, which is quite remarkable.
Look at those numbers. The Ducks have been very successful despite getting behind in some games this year.
Yeah,
and
penalty.
a penalty coming up to Edmonton here.
Yeah.
Ryan Smith took down Spiza, who shakes his left arm and shoulder at the near point, and Anaheim is going to get a huge power play opportunity.
It's going to be a boarding call because his chest is square to the boards when Smith hits him. And, you know, in Ryan Smith's defense, he really held up on the hit, recognized that Spiza's back was turned to him. Still had enough momentum to deliver the blow. It'll cost him 2 minutes, and what a chance here for the Ducks.
Ryan Getzlaf has been dominant in the face-off circle. That one his 13th win in 16 attempts tonight. Into the middle, he gets it, and his shot ricochets to the far corner. Perry setting up his his twin on that one, and now Hendricks pulls it off the far boards and angles it down.
That did not miss by much. That was a good-looking play. The Ducks moved the puck to the side of the ice that they don't normally move the puck to.
Maroon drops it back to the point for Getzlaf. Dusts it off, saucers it now to Matthew Perreault. Perreault's pass broken up. Maroon gets it across. Oh! What a setup by Lindholm, and the hat trick was on the tape of Corey Perry.
I don't know how it doesn't go in. Does it hit the post? It looked like he had a wide open net.
I thought a defender was able to reach back and get a stick. We'll have to take another look.
You know, I think it's Petrie that gets in there and saves a goal.
Still a minute to go in the Anaheim power play. Pass off the stick of Nick Bonino into the Edmonton zone, but the Oilers able to clear it back. The Ducks have been thoroughly bamboozled by the Edmonton penalty kill this season. This would be a great time to get their first on the power play against the Oilers. Solani in the corner, knocked down. Puck underneath him, and it's pitchforked out of the zone by Matt Hendricks. And the ever-active Frederik Andersen out to play it in the corner. 5 minutes to go in the game. Time for one more rush on the power play, as Smith's penalty down to 15 seconds. But Bolesky can't handle the pass, and Anton Lander will lob it back. And as Robidaw's forced to reverse it, now just 5 seconds in the power play. Raquel through the middle of the ice. Long shot over top. Comes right back and bounces over his stick. Penalty is over as Solani gets it on net, and it's blockered out of play by Victor Fost. Buckle your seatbelts. It's a 4.5-minute game at Honda Center. Brian, are the cardiac kids at it again?
They seem to be. Watch this play. Corey Perry thinks he's got the hat trick. The slide across to Perry. He's got a wide open net, and Petrie, quick with the stick, saves what looked to be a sure goal.
Down to 4:34 to go in the game. And a face-off to the right of Victor Fost. Tied at 2. The Oilers led 2-0 early in the third period. They've outshot the Ducks 30-25 to this point. Lovejoy able to keep it in. Spin move by Bolesky, who then hooks it in front. Oh, and it's fumbled by Boyd Gordon, but it's Nugent Hopkins who plays it out center ice. Ducks get onside. Getzlaf feathers it back in, and Bolesky's pass is behind Corey Perry. Taylor Hall headmans the other way, and it's deflected deep into the Anaheim zone. An icing call against Edmonton.
I think we may have a penalty here. There's an Edmonton player that the referee is taking a look at, and we might have a high sticking penalty.
Yeah, we've definitely got a penalty.
Oh boy.
Clefbaum checking his nose.
Keep an eye on the middle of your screen, and Matt Bolesky right there swings his stick, one hand on it, hits Clefbaum in the nose, and it's a 2-minute minor penalty against Matt Bolesky.
The Oilers are 1 for 2 tonight on the power play.
And on the
they get a big chance.
And you know what? And on the power play that they did not score on, John, they had lots of offensive zone time.
So the Duck penalty kill on the hot seat. 4 minutes to go in the game. Down a man, tied at 2 with the Oilers. Schultz through the middle, sends it in, and it pops in and out of the glove of Anderson. To the corner, Robidaw can't corral it. And now it's Ryan Smith down low. Boschma with some help takes it away. And a rolling puck up the boards. Pinching is Schultz to hold it in. It's blocked by Getzlaf out center ice. And after it went Bonino, but he's caught by Everly, who brings it right back in. Smith behind the net for Hall. Hall has a man coming off the bench. It's Larson at the right point, slides it over and gets it back from Everly. Wires one, blocker save, falls right in front of Anderson, swept out of harm's way by Bonino. Getzlaf at the end of his shift just ices the puck. 1:05 to go in the penalty to Bolesky. 3:10 left in the game. Anton Lander feeds it into the zone. Gagne on the right boards all the way to the goal line. Uses the end wall to swing it around and back to the left point. Marincin nearly mishandled it, but he keeps it deep. Gagne, side of the net, wants to bring it in front, knifed off his stick, but it comes back to the line where it's held in by Marincin. Gagne fires it in front, blocked by Brian Allen. Poke back to the line. And it's Marincin who steps around and then drops it back as he's tangled up with Bonino out there. Perron sneaks up the boards, drops it down low, gets it back. Long wrist shot tipped just wide, down to 10 seconds in the power play.
Looking for the high tip.
Oilers able to keep it in. Out of the corner, Gagne.
Good play.
And hugging the post, never giving it up was Anderson, and he's got it in his glove.
Yeah, sharp looking play by Anderson using that glove to block the passing lane. Here was the rebound bid that, boy, Smith was whacking away at. Anderson able to fight it off. I like those goaltenders to get that catching glove above the stick for those aerial passes. That's good fundamental technique shown by the young Anaheim netminder.
Molesky will exit the penalty box in 5 seconds. 2:13 to play, and a smart play on the face-off as Getzlaf goes forward, clearing the zone and killing the penalty.
Just a huge penalty kill there for the Ducks. And we're back to even strength, and Matt Molesky is the most relieved man in the building right now.
You can say that again. Taylor Hall dumps it in. Robidoux runs it down. Chips it up the boards. Getzlaf takes it and angles it off the wall. Here's Perry. He's got a man with him. Got it over. Too hot to handle for Molesky. Everybody is focused on number 10 in black. Back the other way come the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins with a drop pass. It'll come all the way to Petrie at the line. He keeps it in for Hall. This is the guy to watch in white. Taylor Hall has his hands hooked. Play goes on, and Getzlaf sends Perry the other way. Beauchemin with a one-timer scores! The Cardiac Kids strike again. Just a minute 21 to play.
They are amazing. Francois Beauchemin with his 4th of the year, and this is huge. Perry with the drop pass. Beauchemin steps into it, and somehow it squeezes between the arm and the body of Fost. He hammers it, and it just goes through the Oiler netminder. Unbelievable.
No look now, but I think the Oilers have the hiccups. A 2-0 lead that has gotten away from them, and here's Rickard Rakell. I think he thought there was a whistle for offsides. He let up a little bit on the play, and then follows it in behind the net. The Oilers clear, but time and space for Brian Allen, who gets center red and winds it around again.
Smart play by Allen. Just get it in deep. Work some time off the clock. Keep it as deep as you can.
Under a minute to play. We'll keep an eye on Victor Fost now, as the Oilers will look to get him out for the extra attacker. Stretch pass taken by Gagne. There goes Fost to the bench. Gagne bumped in the corner. 40 seconds to play. Perron digs along the wall to try to work it free. 5 players in the corner. The Ducks are content to leave it there as the clock continues to tick. Taylor Hall behind the net, and Perron can't get it to him. Put it on the back of the net. Finally dug free by Anton Lander, and Hall on the far side all the way across for Larson. Little off balance, he returns the pass off an Anaheim stick. Cogliano got a piece of it. 15 seconds left. Again, the Oilers have possession, and a shot in the corner deflected high. Larson holds it in into the middle of the ice. Lander's shot is blocked. Came right to Gagne. 5 seconds left. His pass across is tipped wide by Larson, who throws it back in front. And I believe it was deflected into the netting. The clock has stopped with 1.4 seconds left.
Yeah, I think they might put a little bit more time on this clock. And Bruce Boudreau will get some fresh bodies over the bench and onto the ice. And the big captain. The Ducks have been dynamite in the face-off circle. They've won 14 out of the last 19 draws in the defensive zone. And everyone's waiting right now. The referee will have a talk with the timekeeper and will describe the play. I didn't hear a whistle, John. The building was so loud. I think everybody a little bit unsure when the puck actually left the playing surface.
Francois Beauchemin's goal at 18:39, his 4th of the year. The Ducks have their first lead of the hockey game. It's 3-2. They trailed 4-0 late in the second on Monday and came back to beat Winnipeg in overtime 5-4. They trailed 2-0 early in the third to Dallas Eakins' Edmonton Oilers here tonight, and they now lead 3-2 with just over 2 seconds to play. Eakins has exercised his timeout as they're going to drop the puck in the circle to the left of Frederik Andersen.
Everything really depends on how much time's on the clock. If there's
I believe
not,
it's 2.5, Brian.
Yeah, 2.5 is enough time to pull it back and shoot it. But it wouldn't surprise me if we see a right-handed shot take the draw for the Oilers and have them try and bump it forward towards the crease area.
It is indeed 2.5 seconds left. Andersen goes back into the goal crease. And I think, well, first, I thought Perron may go in the right-hand shot to take it, but it's going to be
Nugent Hopkins.
He's
going to try and pull it back. Yeah, he's going to try and pull it back.
Looks like Perron's the trigger man, and Bonino goes to his knees. Perron does get a shot away. It goes harmlessly over top of the goal, and the Ducks have done it again. It defies the odds. It doesn't make sense, and it makes coaches older by the second.
And that guy right there, I'll tell you what, Freddie Andersen kept his team in this game because for 2 periods, the Ducks weren't able to generate much. He kept giving them a chance to win, and that's what coaches always talk about their goaltender. And then the superstar took over. Corey Perry with a big night, updated Western Conference standings. The Ducks go to 108 points. Now a 3-point lead over the Sharks. They still got a game in hand over San Jose. Anaheim gets it done again. They never make it easy, but they find a way to get it done.
And I think that clunking sound you heard up the coast to the north was a few more television sets being kicked down the stretch as the Ducks have 50 wins in a single season for the first time in franchise history. I got an idea who the #1 star of the game is, but let's listen in just for laughs and see if I'm right.
Now, here are tonight's 3 stars of the game as voted by the broadcast media and brought to you by Honda. Tonight's 3rd star of the game, from Edmonton, #4, Taylor Hall. Tonight's 2nd star of the game, with the game-winning goal from the Ducks, #23, Francois Beauchemin. And tonight's 1st star of the game, with 2 goals and an assist from the Ducks, #10, Corey Perry.
Perry now with 11 points in his last 7 games. It's a good time of year for him to be heating up. I was right. He's the #1 star of the game, and he's with Ken French.
Anaheim Ducks pick up win number 50 for the first time in franchise history tonight. I'm with Corey Perry, #1 star of the game, and just before we get started, you know, this come from behind thing's exciting, but you don't have to do it every night. You know that, right? All right, just so you know. Did you guys, down by 2 into 3rd, did you kind of dig back to Monday and say, you know, we've done it before, why not do it again?
Oh, it's kind of become a habit lately in the last 3-4 games, and we don't want to make it happen every night, but sometimes you got to dig deep, and when you're not playing your best hockey, you just got to work a little bit harder and push a little harder, and good things are going to happen.
Corey, how do you use this excitement and momentum? 6 games left in the regular season, up by 3 on San Jose for the Pacific Division. How do you keep this rolling?
Well, if we keep playing the same way we do in the 3rd period, getting pucks deep and doing all those little things that we talk about every single day, we're going to be all right.
Corey, appreciate it. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Corey Perry, #1 star of the game, 2 goals tonight. We'll send it back to John Oliver.
Thanks, Ken. Perry got him back in it with his 2 goals to tie it, and then it was this little assist, a drop pass that set up Francois Beauchemin's game winner with just 1:21 to go. We'll be back with more in a moment.